Get the Freight Out, or Gtfo, as it's known to many Second Life explorers, is a travel exploration game for the virtual world of Second Life.
You play the beautiful game, bro? Brothers? Brethren?
Gtfo is a HUD-based game, meaning you wear an object as a heads-up display. Players wear the HUD while they transport virtual freight from one Gtfo hub to another on vehicles like cars, planes, motorcycles, boats, even with the messenger bag, old school style on a horse.
What? You've never done that?
Players gain XP and G dollars, a virtual currency used only for the game to secure jobs, transporting goods, and the more G dollars you have, the bigger jobs you can take.
Word, G money.
Players have been moving virtual freight all over the grid since 2015, and the always active Inworld Group hosts over 2,000 residents. I was eager to learn more about the business side of Gtfo, and I learned that Famously Dismantled purchased part of the business last year. I thought this was a fascinating study of business ownership being passed from one resident to another, so when she agreed to do an interview with me, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to learn more about her involvement with the game, as well as what the process was like to take the helm of a Second Life business that was already running. So without further ado, Famously Dismantled.
Oh, look at your avatar. You're so cute. I've never actually seen you in person. Like, we've only talked in IMs.
I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be one day, and I was like, okay, fairy's good. It didn't feel weird.
The pink hair is cute, too. The wings are really nice, too. They move and stuff.
Yep.
Man, mesh is so cool.
As long as you can see it, yeah.
Right, yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, cool. All right, so have you've done one of these because you have one on your land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do these all the time.
Yeah, you've got the one in Cascade, right? The one on the teen. Yeah, Sharp. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I actually haven't done this transcontinental one, so I figure we'll do this one. This one right here that's rezzing for Corsica.
Yep.
Since you're like a pro pod rider.
Yeah. Well, I saw my first pod in about 2009, probably.
Really?
Which is a couple of years after she started. No, actually, that's the year she started.
Perfect.
Now I'm going to turn off that AO and turn on the one that makes me look like I'm sitting. There we go.
You're gonna have to teach me because your AO magic, because I always look like I have like a rod, shoved up on me. Got the default Second Life super proper sit,
Yeah. I have I've got a couple. The fairy one is good, but the one I use for like normal stuff where I have to look like a human being is an Abranimations professional woman HUD, so that you don't move a lot.
I love
So
them.
I don't like the HUD that like makes you look like you have to pee,
Where you're wiggling around the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like
I have a friend. He has that AO where the guy looks like he's like ready to like get into a fist fight with somebody at any moment, like. So you own the land that has the pods that I've done in Cascade. I think I did one with Jacoby out of that one, which is those are my favorite pod rides, the ones on the teen grid, because they're so pretty.
Really? I like those a lot. Yeah.
I think the teen grid is just so pretty.
It is. There's a lot of weirdness going on with the land and stuff. I'm one of those people that submits ARs about microparcels and things like that. So I notice when stuff is weird.
So are there a lot more microparcels happening out there right now? Like the little 16?
They're all over the place. They're not a problem. They're not a problem if you're like using it for something. But if you put it up for sale for like 160 lindens per square foot or whatever, per square meter, it's a bit much. Yeah, I also, my mainland is in Minna, which is, right next to the Ivory Tower of Prims and all that kind of stuff. Right in the center of Old SL. I've got the S1, which is the really long one that goes around Sansara, goes through it, as do two of the ferries, because when I moved in, I made a lot of lake so that people could sail around. And I asked her if she'd put a pod through, and she did. So
she's so great. Yeah, no,
absolutely.
Very cool. Very cool. So today we're doing the pod ride to talk about Gtfo. So this is the Famously Dismantled. I have my legacy names turned on. Is that what you're calling yourself? Famously Dismantled?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
great.
yeah.
So this is Famously Dismantled. She is one of the owners of the super popular Second Life traveling game called Gtfo, or Get the Freight Out. And she has agreed to talk with me today to talk with me a little bit about like how the business runs and, maybe provide us some pointers and stuff about just, a little bit about the business and all of that. So thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited.
You're welcome.
Gtfo is awesome.
Oh, I like it. I'm glad when other people like it too. So it's good to know.
So let's see. Okay, so you bought the business, right?
Yeah. I bought the business was bought from its original creator in 2018 by Cinnamon Moose and Siler Avon. Together, they ran it for a long time, and because of illness and all sorts of other stuff, 4 of us who are volunteers have been running it since, I don't know, the beginning of the pandemic or a few months later. So for a year and a half, we've been running it on our own, and having a lot of fun and supporting the people who run it. But I asked her, Sin, if she would sell me her part of the business, which is the business and technical side of it. So the retail, the code, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And she said yes.
Wow.
And so yeah.
That's like a ballsy thing to do, right? Or did you why did you decide to ask to buy the business? Just because you were interested and you liked it, or?
Well, I started working on it in 2019. I fell in love with the game, and I offered to help, which may or may not have been a good idea.
Yeah.
So I found myself, running the technical side with a few other people who shall remain nameless unless they decide to reveal themselves. We call ourselves the elves. Well, I started calling us that, and it took, I just love the game, and I want to see it keep going. And I said, hey, what do you think? So, because I knew she wanted to sell it.
Right.
It's as simple as that, really. I started thinking about it last year sometime, and it finally got to the point where I was like, well, what the heck?
Let's just do this.
Yeah.
So, okay. So how long have you been involved in Second Life, like overall?
My first avatar, her res date is the 11th of September, 2007. So I'm one of those people who kind of gets to the point where they outgrow an avatar and make a new one rather than just changing it up. So famously, or Fam, as I like her being called, is my 6th main.
Cool.
in 14 years, and she's finally feel comfortable in my avatar. It was a really low point in my life, and I really feel like Second Life and the people I met here saved my life, really, because it was a very bad, very dark time.
Yeah.
And so I could just turn the computer on, come in world, and go dance and chat for 2 hours.
Yep.
That was amazing. I had people around me. I felt like I was accepted and at home, and I've been doing internet-y stuff since America Online.
Yep.
In about 1990. So I'm used to text chat and that kind of thing being normal. So it just felt really normal
to just I totally get what you mean. I think sometimes too that text-based conversation can in some ways be like more intimate, I think, because you have to really think about what you want to say because you're typing it out, so
and it's different sort of filter.
It is
as well.
I think too that the friends that you meet too, I don't know. I mean, some of these friends I've had on here, I've had for like over a decade. My favorite, my closest business mentor for like real life business stuff that I've done with actual work, I met through Second Life. I mean, yeah, I get it. This is where my friends are. I mean, I work from home, so I don't go out all the time. These are my buds on here, Yeah,
it's been really good during the pandemic to feel like I have some place to go whilst not being able to leave my house.
It helps me deal with it. Really great for the pandemic too.
Definitely.
Kind of made you feel like you're going for a drive, you know?
Yeah, I especially like the ones that go out over water. This one goes out over water. I really like that.
Yeah, no, the Second Life water is beautiful. How long has GTFO been around, and how long have you been involved with GTFO?
Rez Gray, who was the guy who originally wrote it,
yeah,
I believe he wrote it in 2016. And at the beginning, there were, a few cars a few vehicles that you could use. Mm-hmm. And then when Sin and Siler took it over, they increased the number of vehicles you could use and all, other sorts of stuff. But yeah, 2016. And then 2018, Siler and Sin took over, and the rest is history.
That's a pretty long-running game. Do you have any idea how many people play? Do you have like a list?
There is a database of the people who have played, but we do have the group we have in World is about 2,000 people, and very much like the pods, you can look at the status of what's going on, and there are 2 or 3 people playing at any time of the day or night, usually more than that, and we've got a really active in-world group. Yeah, it's quite a lot. I mean, 2,000 people are attached to it, haven't left the group yet.
and are still playing. So, there is that for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So before this, I wanted to make sure that I had tried, actually done GTFO a couple of times beforehand. And so, I started the process of, how to play and everything, and I remember it being really easy, and I stumbled across this YouTube channel that talked a little bit about what the game is and how you play and stuff like that. But I remember I could immediately start playing, which was fabulous. I mean, there wasn't a huge learning curve, so that was great. And then I discovered that I actually have a GTFO hub on my my Operation Mainland stuff in Amelia, so that was cool. I was like, oh look, maybe I should make a dock here so people will come visit.
Well, at the moment, you can only have one hub per region.
Yep.
And we're working on that. So if you come into a region that has a hub, then you immediately get told, hey, you're in a region that has a hub. And then it becomes very difficult to figure out where the thing is.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, all hubs point at 128. So one of the things we are working on now is basically better hub location. So you come into a region, you find out where it is, and also multiple hubs per region, and better location. That way people know where they're going, so you don't kind of have to pretend that you found it.
Right.
Because some of them are really small, and you kind of enter the region, you go, well, 128 is a bush. Where the hell is the hub?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. Because the place that I tested was super close. It was in the next sim over. And, I guess I came into the parking lot, so I was close enough to where it gave me credit for it. But yeah. So can you, is it only driving, or can I take a boat or, take a plane or whatever?
Yeah. Boats, planes, trucks, cars, bicycles, spaceships. Yeah. So everything from a spaceship up at 3,000 meters to a little tiny bicycle rickshaw type thing.
Cool. And these are GTFO vehicles that you can buy to participate with?
Well, a lot of vehicle creators will decide to support GTFO in their vehicles, and they'll add a script to it, or at least make the vehicle so that it can be used with GTFO.
Cool. Okay, so then it's
watching us on the screen.
Oh yeah. So then let's see, is this scripts that they would purchase these scripts, or is it a free script that you encourage to get them to use it so the cars all take part in the game?
Yeah, what they do is they create a code they tell us they want their vehicle to be able to do GTFO.
Right.
We give them basically a vehicle ID. That vehicle ID has to be used with that vehicle. There's a general script that gets put in the vehicle either by the creator or by the person who's bought the vehicle. It depends on whether the creator wants to put the script in or not. Some of them do and some of them don't.
So you give the player a way to kind of make any car a GTFO car if they want.
Ish. Ish. the way it is right now, the creator has to say, I want this vehicle to be able to do GTFO. I think at one point people were asking for their own personal vehicles to be added. Either we stopped doing that or I've been lied to and we never did that.
Imagine that'd be kind of hard to support somehow, you know?
Yeah. It's so really if the vehicle is mod, then the creator probably just says, okay, here's the code and just put the script in yourself. The creators who don't make their vehicles mod will include the script. That's just the way it works. And it's the same script and it gets updated and, people update the script in their vehicles. I actually personally like the fact that I can control which vehicle and what script. And I mean, the scripts aren't different, but I don't have to depend on a creator to update it.
Yeah, that's always good. Anything you can do yourself is like win.
Yeah. And there are several free vehicles that you can use that support the game. So you actually, with the trial HUD and a free vehicle, you can play the game until you get to level 5. And actually, you can keep playing the game at level 5. But there is a very little barrier to entry, I guess is what I'm saying. I actually use the Hornless Viking Workshop emergency rescue boat, which is very, very small. It's like a dinghy, basically, with an engine, a dinghy with an engine on it. And it's very... I find it really difficult to control vehicles. So if I'm driving, I'm constantly driving off the road. If I fly, I'm pushing the yoke down when I should be pulling it. It's like, so I just got this little boat and said, okay, this is the way I'm doing it. And and it's how I do my testing. My main function has been to do the maintenance every Sunday for the last, I don't know, we started doing weekly maintenance about 2 years ago. And so Sunday mornings at 3 a.m. SLT, I come online, tell everybody I'm doing maintenance, shut the game down, do whatever updates need to be done. We roll a database from one place to another, so the new vehicles and vehicles and hubs get added. So we turn the machine back on, and this week, actually yesterday, I was told that we added 5 more hubs just yesterday. So there are going to be at least 5 more hubs next week.